Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back here with part three of my dreams for benefiting South Africa, my vision for South Africa, or whatever you want to call it. Sorry, my voice is not very clear. I might have a bit of a cold or flu or something because I was really knackered, as they say. I think that's a London term, um, a British term for when you're really tired. But I didn't wake up till like 2 o'clock, so I've been really lethargic and knackered today. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I was going to say also, I think with the changes of weather, I heard like thunder for like happened once, and then like quite heavy rain, and then it seemed to go away really quick. But I think due to the changes in weather, I can't really make up my mind whether it's hot, whether I'm hot or cold. So I've come down to a t-shirt anyway, so I feel less flustered. But yeah, I get really cold very quickly as well. But anywho, I do try and have these iron tablets, which my mum gave me which was very kind of her. They were actually her iron tablets, but she gave them to me. So I try and use those to get a bit of energy, but I still always seem to feel tired and wake up. Sometimes I wake up at like 1 or 2 o'clock and things like that. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with the rest of my list. And the intro took just over a minute, so I didn't do too badly, I don't think. But as ever, I'd love to hear what you think and how you think I did. And at the end of the video, perhaps, or even during the video, if you let me know how I did or how I'm going or whatnot, or what constructive criticism you've got, or positive feedback or anything like encouragements or whatnot. And here goes. So number 21, I think it'd be great if people found out about the history of apartheid. Maybe most people probably do learn it, but I definitely think it's important that they learn it as well as possible. And hopefully that would have an incentive, especially for people of colour like myself, POC, like myself, but also anti-racists generally, to support South Africa. Number 22, I think it would be great if South Africa in the future hosted so many events. I suppose it's probably a bit naive of me to think that they can just easily host events. It probably does take a heck of a lot of planning and money as well, as well as time. So it probably is whether it's worth it to host those events, but it'd be great if they hosted events such as, say, for instance, anti-racism events, anti-imperialism events, bringing people of colour together, bringing anti-racists together, or all sorts of things like that, basically. 23, also investors events, so they bring together all possible investment vehicles, investors and whatnot from across Africa, from across the world rather, so as many investors as possible, including organisations or companies such as Berkshire Hathaway, Cascade Investments, Bridgewater, and investors like billionaires from around the world, Ray Dalio, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, people like that, some of the richest people in the world, and Forbes and people like that to look at how to benefit South Africa, and banks and others that can invest in the country, in the nation, in terms of things like helping their businesses and startups, including what they call coloured, mixed race people, as well as black, Asian people, and people of colour generally in the country as well, or anti-racist and anti-racist groups. I think if we show we support each other, like if people of colour around the world, a benefit in supporting South Africa, and see that we'll buy South African goods and things like that, especially from companies which are more diverse and that kind of thing. 24, I think it'd be great if South Africans generally, as much as possible, work together within their country as well. I imagine white supremacists are not going to want to work with people of colour, but other than that, I think all the other people of colour, black, Asian, mixed race, what's it called, coloured in South Africa, and even the white people there who want to integrate and get on well with the people of colour and with people of colour, as I say, anti-racist groups within the country as well as outside of it. So, and also all around the world can work together, especially on key dates in South Africa's history. Like it's the date where it got independence. And maybe they could have different events, as say Freedom Day and stuff like that, where they invite people around the world, invite libertarians as well, perhaps, maybe learn about libertarianism and encourage libertarians to go and visit South Africa. And I think some people accuse libertarians of being racist in America, perhaps, and this could perhaps show it's not about race, if you know what I mean. So yeah, maybe they could go and visit South Africa and talk about freedom and libertarianism and what it means. 25, also Republic events. I'd love for them to have Republic events and network with other republics around the world. As I often mention, I'm quite biased in favour of republics myself. Number 26, also, I'd say anti-imperialists, inviting anti-imperialists from around the world, not just Africa, but Asia, Latin America, even people in Europe, just people who are generally anti-imperialists of all backgrounds, because obviously the history it went through imperialism, prejudice, racism, apartheid, colonialism, and all sorts of things like that. And maybe even networking with other countries that were also colonized by similar countries like the Dutch. So they could network with Indonesia and others and that kind of thing. Number 27, I think it'd be great if they had an awards sort of ceremony where they honoured and acknowledged those people from both within the country. They could have versions for people within the country, and they could also have versions for people from outside of the country, like the UK or America or other parts of Africa as well, or Asia or wherever else who have contributed to South Africa in the future. They could, excuse me, they could have such events. But yeah, award ceremonies and offer rewards and acknowledgements generally for those who have contributed to the nation, country, whatever you want to call it. Number 28, I hope that this will make up for a positive, make up for a negative, or turn a negative into a positive rather, and make up for lost time and make up for history where due to apartheid and all that kind of thing, so all the bad things they went through, hopefully something good will come from such by bringing people to the country to invest in the country and support the country and that kind of thing. I know I mentioned in, I think it's part one, like how I'd love for them to, and maybe in part two as well, how I'd love for them to network with people from with Malaysia, Indonesia, India, and Singapore, and also Saudi Arabia, and countries like that. But yeah, so I hope they'll be able to have invite as many of those people, delegates and dignitaries, and politicians and whatnot, people in power from those countries and businesses from those countries to come and invest in South Africa, and maybe they can return the favour as well and look at how those countries can help South Africa to have more access more regularly to electricity, the internet especially, and training opportunities and things like which hopefully will empower the country through having more access to those sorts of things for longer periods of time, because rather than blackouts and things like that, trying to prevent those sorts of things and look at what South Africa can learn from other countries, what those countries can teach, what South Africa can also just generally learn from keeping their eyes and ears open from those countries. Number 29, I definitely wish to encourage my fellow mixed race people around the world, like Anglo-Indians, other Eurasians, Pelagians, what I call caramels, or as they call in South Africa, coloureds, and things, and people like that, to support South Africa as much as possible, and also neurodiverse people, and show what neurodiverse people can do. I know I always use that for 29 because my birthday's on the 29th of August. Hence the number 29. I think of people who have things in common with me and things like that. And number 30, finally, I hope that South Africans will learn all the possible things that they could do to benefit their nation. And I would love to hear your ideas on that topic. On that note, and I'm out. Peace and love.